After several years of hard work on the project, the results were looking good.
We're walking up right now on the pretty dramatic final installation here on the Tunnel Brook stream restoration. This is where the river, in the very last instance, jumped its banks and created quite a bit of destruction and blew a couple culverts out down below us before it got back in its channel. And this is the area of greatest weakness. This is actually the site where the river had blown out of its banks several previous times before Hurricane Irene. And so all this debris that you see piled up here is material that we've had the contractor put in here to kind of armor this bank, but also in a very natural way, where before we might have used riprap, here we're using this wood. It will allow water to pass, but it will also slow the water down and cause it to drop more sediment. This is the former road bed of Tunnel Brook Road, and you can see in the far where it's been grassed in, we've revegetated the entire stretch of the road that's been decommissioned. But we've also put periodically down the road these piles of brush. Again, you know, in the floodplain, which is what we're in right now, we expect over time that Tunnel Brook will escape the banks and get out into the floodplain. And this wood here will slow the water down, cause it to deposit its sediment, rather than dig in and erode the old roadbed. So right up here you see one of the effects of a dynamic natural system is we have some erosion already taking place from some of the recent rainstorms. And this is not unexpected. There's no way that we can prevent this type of erosion. But what we've left in here in some of our design features is designed to address exactly that. So we still have some of these baffles in here to slow the water down. This is all biodegradable. We've got some brush sitting in here. And then we have this little side channel, and you can see where the sediment from the erosion up here has accumulated in this side channel. The idea is to slow the water down, let the sediment drop out before the water actually gets into the stream itself. This was the first blowout on the Tunnel Brook Road from Irene. And the road ran straight through here, and the stream, with a lot of energy coming down off the side of Mount Moosilauke, had just carved out the embankment and moved on down. We lost about half the road width here. And so this is a definite weak point. The stream is aimed right at this area as it comes off that upper curve, and that's a point of high energy. We've roughed this whole swale out, reduced the slope that had been left from the washout, the original washout, brought the edge back. And then by putting in these rocks and logs and brush, we recognize this area is going to continue to erode, but what we wanted to do is to do it slowly and not just continue to have a blowout, or to get back into the main road channel and erode all this additional sediment. So it's just a case of asking the stream to slow down a little bit. And it very much duplicates what a natural process might be, where logs and trees have fallen into a stream as it undercuts a bank. We just did that here with the contractor, placing those logs and stumps, kind of speeding up what would be a natural process.
The decommissioning of Tunnel Brook Road will have far-reaching impact. Most directly, it will impact access to the area. Tunnel Brook Road is now Tunnel Brook Trail. Hikers will now have an additional half-hour walk to the Benton Trailhead on Mount Moosilauke, and those who hike Tunnel Brook Trail regularly will be witness to a dramatic evolution.
Over the years, the road itself will brush in, the trail corridor will become narrower and narrower, until in time, it will just be a trail corridor, maybe 3 feet wide, with a path through the woods kind of effect.
Perhaps the even bigger impact will be the project's effect on the future of infrastructure management in the White Mountain National Forest.
Will this be the example that we'll use every time a road washes out, every time we have a large precipitation event? I don't think so. But it will be a test case, and it'll be something we'll be able to go back to and refer to and learn lessons from as we go into the future.
If we are continually investing into maintenance or repair of infrastructure, we may need to rethink where those trails or roads should occur on the landscape. In some cases, we may rebuild where it is because it's worth the risk. There's enough demand and need for that infrastructure. In other cases, we may decide it's better to move that infrastructure now, maybe at a higher price, to sustain it and make it a resilient piece of infrastructure for the future.
The key is the collaboration and the partnership, bringing expertise from a group of people as opposed to individuals, and coming up with a solution that works for both the resource, Trout Unlimited, and the public as well.
Much of the project's impact on management philosophy may depend on how the floodplain responds to the restoration work. This answer will come with time and observation.
Things that we'd look for in the future is what is happening in the channel of the stream. Is the channel moving much, or is it very stable where it is? How is that channel moving in relationship to the types of precipitation events that we've had? Secondly, we would look to see at the structures that we have put into the floodplain to slow the stream down or to keep the stream in its channel at a couple of key points. Are they functioning the way we would want to see them? And then the third thing we would look at is design features that we put in to those side channels. Are those functioning the way that we'd want to see them?
The story of Tunnel Brook doesn't end here. This is an exciting new beginning. And since the White Mountain National Forest is the people's forest, perhaps it's time for you to experience this story up close and personal.
To go out and see a stream year after year after year and really think about how it's changing in its banks has been very exciting from an intellectual point of view, and has really helped connect me personally with some of the change that we see in natural systems that otherwise you might not bother to check in with. So I'd encourage people to come out, look at this as a natural laboratory, and tune in to Tunnel Brook.